So I was able to observe how these yin and yang qualities in my life were transcended in a way by consciousness. And that's when I understood that the Tao that they're speaking of in the Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu many thousands of years ago, is the same thing as consciousness. It is a simple discovery that you can make, that you are consciousness. And when you know it and you can simply observe whatever's going on inside you, when I say you, the ego, and you can transcend all these yin and yang qualities and everything will be transcended. Some people ask me how to transcend some automatic reactions, for example. Like when something's triggering you, something's happening on the outside that you do not have any control over, and then your body is reacting to it, and then the ego is automatically saying that this external thing made you react like that. So it's his fault, it's her fault, it's this external thing's fault that you are reacting like this because you are so identified with these patterns that you think that it is completely normal to react like this. But actually it's not, it's just a program that you're not aware of. So for example, if there's that's a negative thing, like a program in your mind that you're identified with, in your mind and body that you're identified with. So you are still playing in the field of yin and yang. And some people, me included, were addicted to food because there was always this feeling there that I was identified with. Felt like something isn't right. There's like boredom or sense of uncertainty or just something that does not feel right, and I want to fill that hole in me with food. And discovering that you are consciousness is teaching you how to be with that feeling without having to fill it. So you're transcending all these tendencies. And these tendencies are basically all that we have to transcend in order to have real peace and bliss. Because these programs are running automatically as long as we are not aware of them. So you can become aware of these tendencies right now. What are you feeling right now? Even the small things in your body, in the throat, in the body. What's here? Like as you're watching this video, you can become aware of it right now. Just become aware of it. Don't judge it. What's here? There might be some kind of tightness there, or discomfort. If you are a spiritual seeker looking for enlightenment, there must be some kind of discomfort here that is causing you to search for something that will liberate you out of this feeling. And as soon as you are becoming aware of that feeling that is causing you to search for enlightenment or awakening or liberation or just becoming free of the mind, as soon as you're becoming aware of this discomfort, then you can clearly see the pattern that is keeping your ego alive. Now I just want you to observe it. Now as you are observing it, you are already above yin and yang. And you can do this every day. Like it's not even a practice. At some point you will see that it's not a practice. It's just your natural state of being that you're in. Everything else but meditation is a practice. Meditation in itself is not a practice. Everything but meditation is a practice. Being and automatically being aware, therefore, is not a practice. It's who you are. And it is free of desires. And if there is a desire arising, not a need for the body, for example, I'm starving, I need food, that's normal. But if there's a psychological need, I need love or validation from another person. I need food to feel fulfilled. I need alcohol, cigarettes. When things like that arise, just observe them, because they're not natural. They're from the psychological entity that is not even real. It's just a belief based on no truth. So you can just feel the arising of these programs and be with them. And in the beginning it will feel like a practice, because you are going through pain, seemingly. There's like this resistance there. I want to take a cigarette, but I really want to stop. And now I have to watch this desire to smoke, but I shouldn't smoke. And the mind is fighting. And it's like this uncomfort. It's uncomfortable. I want to smoke, but I shouldn't. But there's this awareness that's aware of it, and it doesn't care what's going on. And when you can practice it for a few days and weeks, it will become more natural and more natural to simply be in your being without having to search for anything, or to fulfill any desire, or to get up and do something so you can feel like a useful person. Just be in your being. It's like when you are recharging your phone. It's like the natural state of being. It's like, now I can finally recharge. People don't recharge anymore. Even in their sleep, they're not recharging. It's just struggle is still going on in their dreams, in their subconscious minds. But if you can really learn to just be, observe, and observing is also not something you're doing. Observing is happening all the time. Because it's part of who you are. It's just, you are observing. And observing is automatically being. Then you can see how all these tendencies arise in you. Thoughts want to come, there's a desire to do something to fulfill this inner void that feels like discomfort. And just be with it. And you will see that if you are just being with it, with this silence, with this consciousness in which everything is allowed to be, then it will lose its grip on you. It will lose its power, and it will just die. It will starve. It's just nothing there. And now there's just this natural fulfillment that comes from nowhere. That's your natural state. And from there on, you can think clearly. You can use your mind instead of being used by the mind. You can make choices. And choices actually happen automatically, but they will be the right choices. They happen spontaneously. There's a sense of freedom. You're slower in a way. Like Eckhart Tolle said in one of his videos, you adapt the pace of nature, slow. There's a lot of patience. The only reason why we are not patient is because we have this feeling and we want to get away from it. We think that if things would go faster, we could get rid of that uncomfortable feeling faster. That's why people are impatient. They want to be fast, because they want to get there. They think there is the place where satisfaction will be. There's no satisfaction. You have to be with the dissatisfaction that is here right now in order to transcend it. That's the way. That's the only way. And you can do it right now. Just relax. Give yourself the command to relax. The body, the mind, relax and see what's there. And when you are focusing on the gaps between the thoughts, what can happen is that the mind will convince you that it's not good. You're not ready yet to be in no mind, to be in a state of a no mind. And it convinces you by giving you a lot of negative emotions. So when you're thinking, it feels like normal, but it's still stressful because you're still thinking and you want to attain a state of no mind. But then you're actually in no mind. And then all of a sudden there's this tightness there. It's like, no, I gotta think. It doesn't feel good. I'm not ready yet. It's like a lot of negative emotions there. But that's actually a good thing, because it's like an inner evil voice in the form of a feeling. It's not really a voice. It's just a feeling that tells you, you gotta think, man. You really have to think something, because that's uncomfortable. But actually, what's happening is that you're no longer using the drug of thinking to suppress that emotion that was always here, and therefore it can actually be felt, and you gotta go through this, and then it will be transcended. And that's that's actual freedom, because it is the fuel. It was always the fuel of the ego, that thing. So just focus on it now. What's actually happening now, internally and externally. And when you're becoming aware of the now, there's no thought. But what could happen is that there is a negative feeling in the chest, in the throat, or just in the body. Maybe you have some physical pain that you don't want to feel, and therefore you are hiding in the thoughts. Just be with this pain, emotional, physical pain. Don't think, don't have an opinion, just be. And automatically the body will have a reaction. It's also something that people practice in somatic therapy. When you're consciously feeling the pain, and you're not trying to get rid of the pain, so you allow the body to just react out of its instinct. It's like animals. When they are stressed, they're just letting it all out, and they're jumping around and freaking out, but then the stress is out of the body. So what can happen is, when you are no longer thinking and you're feeling the feeling that is making you feel like there's like something you want to avoid, when you're actually feeling it, then there can be a natural reaction of the body, like a sigh. There's a sense of relief, or you gotta shake, you have to shake, or something could happen, or you can cry. But that's just a sign of that you're on the right path, because you are transcending your lower ego. You're transcending your lower self. You are escaping the matrix, we could say, because you're no longer part of this matrix in which opinions exist. You're no longer in this societal structure in which all these races and opinions, and that's all transcended. There's peace within, and therefore you will create peace without. No politics required. It's just your natural state. And instead of searching for an answer for the next book, for the next video, become aware of this seeking energy, and become aware of the feeling that makes you want to search for something. And when you are aware of it, you're automatically above yin and yang. Allow it to be there. The mind can judge it. Allow it. It's not a problem. Just know that you're not the mind. And find the gap between the mind. And to the person, it can feel like consciousness is growing. But what's actually happening is that personality is shrinking. And that feels like consciousness is growing. But consciousness is infinite. It cannot grow. The person is shrinking. So, just do this simple thing. Sit with yourself and observe your ego. Alright? So, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment, and have a great day.